Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Plough Lane podcast. Today, I am joined by Hector and Kian. Hector, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Kian? I am good, thank you. You're not bad. Obviously, today it's the first Wimbledon podcast. We might get it a little bit wrong. There might be some bloopers, some laughs in there, but we'll try to be as professional as we can. But today we'll be talking about everything Wimbledon. We'll start with the Ipswich game that happened today. We're filming it on the Saturday evening. We'll go up on Monday. And then we can move on to the Christmas fixtures, the player loss of obviously two very key players that have gone to Asia for the Asian Cup and loanees that might be going back, and much more. So I think the first thing that we will go on to is the game that happened today. AFC Wimbledon 1, Ipswich Town 3 in the FA Cup. Hector, what were your initial thoughts on the game?
I think the result is a fair reflection of the performance. Some could argue that the red card sort of killed it for us, but looking back at it, it was completely deserved. Pell's gone up for it and he's completely elbowed the guy in the face. I feel like it didn't seem like it, but looking back, it was definitely yellow.
I feel like he tried to be like Bugiel. Like Bugiel always goes back in midfield and tries to tackle people and do all the dirty work. I think the amount of times Pell could have got a yellow card in today's match was a bit mental, to be honest. He could have got sent off a couple of times. But Kian, Wimbledon 1, Ipswich 3 in the FA Cup. What were your thoughts, initial thoughts?
Well, I mean, the game was in good flow after Reeves scored the penalty. But after 2-1, the game definitely slowed down a bit. And then when Pell got the red card, that completely finished our game off and the game was done by then, really.
Pretty much. I agree with you. Here are the goals. So the first goal came from, I believe it was a corner. That might be wrong. Yeah. It was a corner. And then it pretty much flicked off a couple players. And then Davison somehow, I don't know how, he kicked it into the net, went in the bottom left-hand corner. That's 1-0 Ipswich. And then we responded quite well with a Reeves penalty. I think we had like 6 shots on goal, which is, to be fair, not bad without Ali Hamadi and Omar Bugiel. But we equalised with a Jake Reeves penalty in the 17th minute. And then Twanzebe scored from another corner. I think the marking from that corner was absolutely horrendous. And then we battled, got a red card in the second half. And then Taylor made it 3-1 in the 90th minute to pretty much kill the game off and send Ipswich through to the next round. We'll start with Kian. Kian, I feel like the defending was pretty poor in this game. What were your thoughts on the defensive performance?
The defending was questionable, especially with, that was amplified by Lewis not playing in the game. Not sure what's going to happen with him, but we'll see in the coming future. But with Davison's own goal, I feel like it took about 50 deflections before it actually reached Davison. Obviously, it was a corner technique from the training ground, so we just didn't seem ready to handle that.
And they literally got it wrong as well. I think Nathan Broadhead had the shot and he literally scuffed it right into just a manic box full of
it was really like my nan took a shot on goal. That's how slow it really was.
You're very right.
Totally scuffed it. But then obviously, I'm not sure what happened with the Reeves penalty. I'm not sure what that was for. If it was
I think it was a handball.
Handball.
Yeah, I didn't really see it.
I couldn't really see it. But it was a very emphatic penalty. You can trust him easily from the penalty spot. Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah, I think Jake Reeves has been really important in our team, to be fair. Today, he even looked all right. I thought Armani Little and Jake Reeves played really good together, but I just feel like the players up front, we only have 2 registered strikers at the moment, Davison and Aaron Sassu, which is very worrying going into a tough January month.
About them, I think today Davison just looked really slow on the ball. He would get sort of just sit back and run forward. I mean, and then with Sassu, he has the right ideas. He can run forward, but the ball got taken off him so easily every time.
I agree.
He never got to run at the keeper properly. He never got one-on-one. He always had a defender on him. I think but sometime soon, like very soon, we have to sign a striker. If Omar.
Yeah, let's hope so. I think it's... Go on, Kim.
Yeah, Sassu seems like a very similar player to Neuville. I'm not sure which one is the better player and which one we should start. Because it seems like a lot of running and dribbling. They're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Definitely. I think, did Sasu play up top with Davison? They didn't really play out wide. I don't think Sasu's I don't think he should be a striker. I think he should be a winger. There's obviously been a big debate on who he should be. We have so many wingers at the moment. Connor Evans, Josh Newville, Tilly, Aaron Sasu can play there. Even Davison can play there. I don't think we had a proper striker up top. And yeah, Davison, like as you said, Hector, he didn't really seem like himself today. Like he usually runs about for 90 minutes and he's done that in the league so far and in the various cup matches that we've had. And I just feel like he was just really off the boil today. Sasu, he didn't really get on the ball. I feel like the Ipswich defenders, all they had to do was just stand up to him and then he instantly gets the ball back. But yeah, so it's a little bit disappointing, but we will move on to the lineup today. Obviously, a couple changes for the audio listeners. It was Bass in goal, Billa at right back. Ball came on. I believe that was a switch of formation. Alex Pearce started and came off injured. I feel like that was the right decision for him to come off. I feel like he could have played on, but the fact that we might be losing Lewis, that's really confusing at the moment. If he rested, I heard rumours that he'll be going back. I heard rumours that he was ill when he hasn't trained since Thursday. I have really no clue.
Same as I as well.
Yeah, I heard something from Jake Reeves. My friend went to speak to Jake Reeves after, and he said that Lewis has gone back and Evans is going tomorrow. So
we're screwed. We're ruined.
There are many different rumours, but I guess we'll just have to. It'll play out, and we'll see which ones, whatever.
And like you say that, and there's I don't know his name, but he does like media reporting on Wimbledon and stuff. He's always in the media box, and then apparently he spoke to Johnny Jackson, and apparently Lewis is staying. It's so confusing. I don't know, but
different things.
Yeah, we will see. It's obviously a scary moment at the moment because there's obviously last season we had I feel like this season we had a better start, but last season we still had a decent start up until January. And then we lost Riley Towler, Ayuba Sal to Qatar. And then it pretty much went downhill again. And we don't want that to happen again because it's horrible. Like we have such a good team. We have such good potential in the team. But yeah, let's hope it's a really good January. Sign some players. I believe in Craig Cope and everything. Yeah, and the rest of the lineup, Johnson, Curry, Reeves, Little, Evans, and then Tilly came on in the latter stages. Harry Pelwitz got sent off, Josh Davison and Aaron Sasu. Kian, what were your thoughts on the lineup? Do you think maybe Callum Baye should have started, Tilly should have started, even though Tilly's, I really want him to get back on form. Yeah. What were your thoughts?
Well, I think Alex Pearce should really become a player coach at this point. I feel like he's too... He seemed to get injured really easily. I don't even know what he got injured. What was injured?
Not Lego bricks, but I think it was his knee this time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's like Callum Baye is a lot younger. Sorry, is a lot younger and fitter than Pearce. So I feel like he'll be a way better fit if Lewis does go back. But obviously, we would probably need to sign a new centre back to replace him.
I feel like, obviously, if Lewis goes back, that really hurts the back line because Johnson and Lewis, obviously, they both came from Stockport. Johnson on a permanent, Lewis on a loan. And they just work so well together. Like, obviously, they know each other, played with each other before. I believe last season they literally played against each other. They played with each other, when Stockport beat us 1-0 at their place early on in last season. So that would be so just aggravating if Lewis does leave because he's such a good striker, good centre back. But
he was been loads of rumours against Colchester. But yeah,
he was a striker against Colchester. Scored 2. Yeah, he scored some really important goals this season. To be honest, he's been really important at the back. 2 of them. Yeah, and it was really weird. Like yesterday, Johnny Jackson said in his pre-match interview that he wants different type of players to chip in with goals. And he said he wants Lewis to keep chipping in with goals. And then when the lineup comes out, he's not even in the squad. So I don't really know. It's really confusing. Hector, do you think it was the right lineup for today's game?
Yeah, I think it was all right, especially for a cup game. But I think Tilly should have started. If Johnny Jackson's not going to start him in the league, you should give him chances in cup games, and this was like the perfect opportunity to do it. Because obviously Tilly's not been in his best form. Like he was in good form at the start of the season. He's fallen out.
What do you think's gone wrong with Tilly?
I don't know. He was banging them in left, right, and centre. It was absolutely brilliant.
I think he was injured, if I'm not wrong, for a while. Well, no, injured for like 2 games, and then he got replaced by Lemonade Evans. I think that's what happened. Really.
Oh,
possibly.
Yeah, Warsaw. We didn't start against Warsaw. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's when Connor Evans scored his first goal, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe that could be to do it. Might be confidence. Maybe he just needs like one from open play for a little bit of confidence.
Yeah. And it also go on.
I would like to see him start more. Like today, obviously, it's a cup game. That's like the perfect opportunity to like give him a bit of confidence for the league as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like just bringing him on in the last 15 minutes when you're 2-1 down is really not the best solution. Like, especially we play Oxford, I think he has to start, to be honest. Just hopefully get a couple goals in, boost his confidence. We have a massive, massive away game at Wrexham. I believe they only lost 3 times at home last year. So that's scary. Their home form is ridiculously good. Obviously, the Wrexham atmosphere is brilliant, selling out every single week. We've pretty much sold out. 1,165 was the allocation that we got. Has it sold out now?
I think so.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I saw there was 14 tickets left before kickoff today. So there you go. That'll be a good day out and hopefully get a couple 3 points. Should we move on to a controversial topic that Hector, you
go on then.
said about the Plough Lane atmosphere? Hector, I'll let you start as you suggested it. Off you go.
I think it's very poor, especially when, what I've noticed is the atmosphere is more dictated by the momentum. And, as the South Stand, the purpose of it really is to be a 12th man and give the players that extra boost to, go and build up some momentum, score some goals, get some chances. But I feel like people in the South Stand, it's only sort of the middle block that really sing. And for like 50% of the game, half the middle block aren't singing, so the atmosphere is quite poor for it. And especially in the first half as well, I've noticed that. I mean, if you're in the South Stand, the purpose of you being there is to sing, really. So sing up. That's what I really.
Yeah. No, exactly. I agree with you. I feel like, as you said, like we need, like people think that we need the team to start playing well until we start singing, if you know what I mean. Like it's been so good at the start of the season. I thought Wrexham at home was good. Coventry at home, we got right behind the team. It was a really good atmosphere. Like we have, just over 1,000 fans in the South Stand, and that South Stand is built for, singing, and that is enough fans. Most singing sections in League 2 don't even have 1,000 fans in their singing section. So, and like the majority of those tickets are season ticket holders. So they're there every single game. They know what's going on with the club. They all have different emotions about everything. But and the amount of times like Johnny Jackson and players have said it's so important for the fans to sing. Like I remember against Colchester when we were winning, there was fans in the West Stand bouncing around.
Yeah.
Love the Dons bounce around. Like that would not happen if we were drawing or losing. And like we started the if you love the Dons stand up, and there was a lot less people standing up.
I think that was when we were losing there. That's the thing. That was when we were losing.
But if you know what I mean, everyone should just stand up to try and get behind the team. Like it feels like Plough Lane is meant to be our fortress. Is meant to be the place where fans, players don't want to go. Like Kings Meadow, my God, it was such a fortress. Like it was closed, it was impact. Like the away fans were in a tiny shed. It was so hard to create an atmosphere, and like the away players were shooting towards home fans every single game, every single end. First and second half. So yeah, I think it's a little bit disappointing. But is there any ways you think we could improve it, or is just people just singing up?
I mean, I don't like drums. I think that's
I agree. I feel like if the clubs that need a drum just like they're indicating that they can't.
They're very Timpot. They're very Timpot.
Can you name any? Can you name any clubs that are Timpot, Kin?
I think the Forest Green have a drum.
They do. Forest Green did
Forest
have
Green.
Drum. Yeah, they did.
Their drum, Colchester's drum at home is Timpot, just bangs all game.
I don't actually think we allow drums at Plough Lane?
We don't.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what the conversation would be like if we had it in the home end and wanted it in the home end. I wonder what that conversation would be like.
I feel like
yeah,
we wouldn't.
We don't have a ground that looks like it would have a drum, to be honest. You know what I mean? Thing is, the south stand is perfect for singing, so I don't think we need a drum. We shouldn't need a drum.
Like a lot of people bash on the back anyway. So
yeah exactly,
and that's kind of like indicates that we kind of have our own drum, but it's at the back and we're just bashing and everything. But should we move on?
I'm not pointing to the atmosphere. People at the back banging too fast. That ruins it a lot.
Don't get me started.
It's ridiculous how fast they go. Like the chants, they'll end so quickly, and then it just goes silent for another 10 minutes.
For example, Take Me Home.
Yeah, Take Me Home. Yeah, people just smashing it so fast, and it keeps speeding up. It's meant to go consistent for a while, and then
you have to keep in some sort of a rhythm.
Like, exactly. Not just
that's so annoying.
Wait, one more thing. I also have to say we need to stop making new chants. I'm not going to specify this to anyone, but we need to stop making new chants that no one sings.
You're boring.
Like that Lemonade Evans song.
Boring,
it's terrible.
Boring, Kean. No.
That Lemonade Evans song is shocking.
It's brilliant, mate.
It's not going to catch on.
It will.
It's not going to catch on.
Guys, I think we should move on.
No. It's not going to catch on. So stop singing it.
Fair enough. Right. I'm glad you got your point across, Kim. You really wanted it then. Okay, next topic. Our next game at Plough Lane actually is Oxford at home in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy.
That was
formerly. It was. Used to be called the Papa John's Trophy. We used to get half price off pizza if you show your season ticket. So that's gone now, which is a shame. But yeah. To be fair, I hope we sign someone before this game because I'd love to see them play. Like, I feel like the kind of lineup we had today, like Pell, Davison, Sasu starting, if we had Ali, Bugiel, and Lewis, etc., that would kind of be the lineup that we played today, and they would play in this game, if you know what I mean, and then they wouldn't have started today. So it's going to be interesting what type of lineup we put out. Kian, you're typing now. I don't know what you're typing, but for the audio listeners, Kian's typing something away, which I don't know what, and I hope he's put something in the private chat. Talk about Christmas, right, Kian? Okay, we will go on to the Christmas fixtures after we talk about Oxford and Wrexham, of course. But yeah, Oxford at home. We'll start with Hector. What type of lineup do you think we should put out, and what are you really expecting? Do you want to get through? I think a Wembley day out will be amazing.
It would be nice to go to Wembley, and obviously getting through these rounds is good money for the club. You know, it's always good. But the lineup, I don't think we should release a lineup full of first-team players especially because we don't have, 3 players now, Ali, Omar, and Lewis. I think we should rest a few and give some youngsters a chance, especially because this trophy is a bit tin pot as well. Let's be honest. I mean, it would be nice to get through, but I'm personally not too fussed.
And the fact that we've already beaten probably one of the sides that were expected to get to the final. This is probably one of the other ones, and I feel like the Southern section, because you play. This is the round of 16, I believe, and then you play in the Southern section until the semi-finals, and the better teams in this competition that are left are in the semi-finals, are in the Northern section, sorry. And there's I think 2 or 3 of the teams left are still academy teams in the South. So it's going to be interesting. Kiam, what about you?
Well, with this cup, every year I feel like the money doesn't really matter in the cup because they probably pay you the amount of prize money that couldn't even buy you a Wimbledon pizza. So it's more about the glory about winning the trophy here. The money doesn't matter. They'll put realistically, the prize money to win the trophy is probably around 100 grand, and that won't pay for Ali's salary or Lee Brown's salary, more like. So, you know, I feel like we will beat Oxford personally.
And our game after Oxford United at home in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Is Wrexham away? Our next league game, it's going to be a tough one. Sold out home and away, I believe. Wrexham just built a new stand behind the goal, which looks like Gillingham's, doesn't it? So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Sold out crowd, sold out away crowd, which is good. 1,000, nearly 1,200 away fans travelling all the way up to North Wales. I don't know where Kean's gone, actually, to be honest with you.
1 second, lads.
He's kind of gone, but that's fine. We will carry on talking about Wrexham.
Just trying to find Joe Lewis.
Try to find Joe Lewis. Okay,
look,
right.
Carry on.
So we've got, obviously, Wrexham. They're in really good form. I'll just read out the form. So in the last 5 games, they've played 5, won 4 and lost 1. Wrexham beat Colchester 2-1, beat Newport 2-0, Swindon away 1-0. They lost 3-1 to Walsall, which they're in good form, and then beating promotion rivals Barrow 4-1. Hector, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Well, first of all, I think it's quite a crucial game because the table's quite tight below us. Down to 13th is the gap of 3 points. So I think getting anything out of this game, I will take it.
I'll happily take a draw as well.
Yeah, the racecourse is a fortress, so it will be hard to get anything. I think this season, only 1 or 2 teams have beaten Wrexham at home, which it will definitely be hard to get something, especially without Ali or Omar. It would be nice to get something, and I'll be very happy even just with a draw.
Yeah, no, I really agree with you. Kian, what do you think?
Well, Wrexham are a very, very tough side. They seem to be battering teams. Well, no, they seem to be battering teams left, right, and centre. Yeah. Even if it's just a 1-0, they seem to dominate the game. But at this point, I would take any result. That's not a loss. But sadly, I think we will lose.
Yeah, as I said already, Wrexham only lost 3 games at home in 2023. I believe that came to Burton, Wigan, and the franchise. So that's really interesting. To be fair, go on.
I've just seen now they've only lost 1 game at home this season.
That was the franchise, the first game.
And that was the first game.
First game of the season.
So we're going to be it's going to be a very nice day in Wrexham.
Yeah, it's a long trip up. I believe it's around nearly 5 hours. I think it's 3 hours for you. Yeah. It's 5 hours for me and Kim, which is horrendous. But yeah, I think we should put up the league table. I know, Hector, you want to talk about the league table. Yeah. Here we go. So first we have Stockport, 2nd Mansfield, 3rd Wrexham, 4th Barrow, 5th Crew, 6th Notts County, 7th the Mighty Dons, 8th the Franchise, 9th Crawley, 10th Accrington, 11th Gills, then Harrogate in 12th and Walsall in 13th. Hector, off you go, son.
So I think it's very tight at the moment. For battle for playoffs is very tight. As I said, down to Walsall, it's a gap of 3 points. But luckily for us, we have a significant advantage on goal difference. I think everyone around us
plus 13.
Is around 0 and sort of 5, somewhere in the minus.
Yeah, so we have Notts County with +8, MK +8, Crawley -1, Accrington +4, Gillingham -9, and Harrogate -3 and Walsall +3. So yeah, really good advantage there.
That's a good advantage. And I think just these upcoming games in January are really crucial in keeping playoffs. If we can keep winning, picking up points per game, good amount,
and not losing too much.
Yeah. I think that will definitely show we are a very strong promotion side. We can do it. I think we just have to make some signings as well, because
other teams have already signed some players. I actually haven't really heard any rumours of particular players signing for us, which is a little bit scary. But Craig Cope, Johnny Jackson, they did a really good job in the summer. We brought in so many key players, and we actually didn't really bring in a lot of loans. I think we only have 4 this year. 2 might go back. Apparently, we're keeping Alex Bass, which I think is really good. I think he even kept us in the game against Ipswich today. So
he did make a mistake though for that 3rd goal.
He did.
Yeah, he did. He missed the punt.
Yeah. I think every keeper makes a mistake. I feel like the keepers are quite harshly done by. There were so many players out there today. I don't really want to mention the players that made countless mistakes or didn't really try. But there's always players out there which make more mistakes than the goalkeepers. But I think if you look back at his highlight reels of all the games that we've played, and he's kept us in a lot of games, and we would definitely have lost quite a lot of points if we had another keeper in goal, I think. But yeah, he's important. Kian, when you look at that league table, obviously 7th in the league table, how do we keep in the playoffs in this tough January month?
Well, it's pretty simple. We don't lose.
Cheers, mate.
But realistically, with looking at the table, the top 4 seem to be completely dominating. Like from 4th to 5th is a 4-point difference between Barrow and Crewe. And I feel like it's really just a fight for those bottom playoff spots.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I wanted to, obviously, because we have so many players out at the moment, I wanted to talk about these two. Because obviously they're off to the Asian Cup and they've been so good. I believe Ali scored 13 league goals so far, and he's a top goal scorer by quite a few goals. I believe the next one's James Tilley with 9 or 10, I believe it is. Obviously, the final of the Asian Cup, if anyone doesn't know, it's on Saturday, the 10th of February. I'm just going to read out the fixtures that they could miss if they both reach the final. Iraq have won it before. I remember, Kian, you told me a couple of days ago they've won it before.
No, not the Asian Cup. That was
not the Asian Cup.
The golf cup.
Well, they've still won a good competition. And they lost 1-0 to South Korea today. Ali didn't feature. Hector, what's your thoughts on Ali not featuring? Do you think they're just resting him for the first game? Do you think he'll be a key part for that Iraq squad?
I mean, well, I'm a bit annoyed if he's not going to start and you're just going to take him away from us.
Yeah, he would have been very important for today's game. He definitely would have made a difference.
Because today we look like we had no threat up front at all. And if we had Ali, I think we would have looked a lot more stronger up front and a bit more threatening.
No, I agree with you. So yeah, the final is the 10th of Feb. The fixtures that Ali and Omar miss if they both reach the final is Oxford at home, Wrexham away, Crawley at home, Franchise away, which is a little bit disappointing that we rescheduled it to January, but apparently we had no choice, and that was by the EFL. Mansfield at home, Bradford away, and Barrow at home. Kian, that's a scary lot of fixtures, and a lot of those teams are, I think every one of those teams is in the top half.
Yeah, well, personally, I don't think the combination between Pell and Davison is working at the moment. I feel like we need a replacement for Pell. I don't think he's not consistent through the whole match like Omar is.
Yeah,
and we're really missing their combination. But also, we have to remember that in the Asian Cup, teams like Australia are playing also. So there's many tough opponents that Iraq and Lebanon probably won't get past. So I don't see them both reaching the final.
I believe in Iraq's group they have South Korea. Do they have South Korea?
Yeah, they do.
They have South Korea, which they literally played today.
They
don't have again.
They have Japan, not South Korea.
Japan. Well, Japan are still a really good team.
They're better.
They are 100% better than South Korea. And then they have Vietnam and someone else. Kian, do you know who's in the group? Should we do a quick
let me see.
Fact check?
Isn't Indonesia?
You're right. It is Indonesia.
Yeah, Indonesia is no threat to them at all.
Vietnam and Indonesia are both in Iraq's World Cup qualification group already, and they've beaten both. Indonesia 5-1 and Vietnam 1-0.
You know, I hate to say it, but I hope they go out early. I really hate to say it, but for the best for Wimbledon, I hope both of them just crash out in the group stages.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, this is one of the toughest Januaries I've ever seen as a Wimbledon fan, to be honest with you. Obviously, they want to represent their country. Fair enough. I think if I was a professional footballer and I was from Iraq or Lebanon, then I'd definitely go and do it. But it's so many games missed. It's a massive tournament in the middle of a busy period of football, which is upsetting. But I think they can be back for the game against, let me just do a quick fact check. I believe Mansfield at home. I think Iraq's last game is the day after MK, which is so annoying. I think Omar could be back for MK away. Let me just check Lebanon's bit of fixtures. So this is interesting. Their last game is against Tajikistan on the 22nd of January, and we play MK on the 23rd.
Do not start him.
Yeah,
severely jet lagged, and it'll have played a bunch of fixes in a very quick succession.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, sadly, I don't want to watch Pell, so
he's going to score a bicycle kick in like the 4th minute, and we're going to hang on for the whole game.
What, Pell?
Yeah, against
He doesn't even jump for headers. Why do you think he's going to do a bicycle kick?
Because he's.
I also saw MK. I also saw MK were very happy about setting out a block in their stadium. I think that's really important for them. Round of applause. Round of applause, MK. Really good. Really good.
First time they've done that since Liverpool at home. That's crazy.
Yeah, mental. We will obviously talk about MK more in another weekly podcast when that comes nearer the date. But I think, obviously, we talk about Ali and Omar. I think we should swiftly move on to the January transfer window. Loads of rumours going about, like recalling players. We've brought back Ryan McLean, Charlie Lakin's gone, Joe Lewis and Connor Evans might go. Bass is staying. Kian, what do you think is going to happen in January with signings? Obviously, we haven't signed anyone yet, but what do you think is going to happen?
Well, firstly, I'm really disappointed about Lakin's departure because even though he's not a cam, I would rather watch him than Pell personally.
Actually, that's actually a really good point. I think he would have impacted the game more today than Pell.
That's true.
Yeah,
Charlie Lakin. Charlie Lakin played a lot of minutes against Portsmouth, assisted Davison. It was a beautiful through ball. Davison finished it, which is amazing. And I actually think he's a really good player. I know he hasn't been given the opportunity, but when he does, he stepped up and took it.
No, exactly.
I feel like he's not going to get in the Burton squad, is he? I highly doubt it. I don't know what Burton's situation is right now.
He's been a consistent starter for Burton in the past, but I don't really know what happened to him. He's played against us multiple times when we were in League One. So
yeah, true. Kian, is there any positions that you think we should be looking at to strengthen? And is there any names of players that you think could fit our squad? A reasonable signing. You do love talking about Pell, Kian, don't you?
Yeah, no. Well, at the moment, just for January, we need a replacement for Pell and Ali. At the moment, if Ronan Curtis can play cam, he's welcome to join. But
I think he could. I actually think he could play cam. But obviously, there was rumors that he trained with us. Apparently, sat on the bench with us at Portsmouth away, which is crazy. And obviously, he has Lee Brown as well, so that could be why. But we've seen players train with us in the past. We had Asmir Begovic train with us in pre-season of this season.
Willie Caballero as well.
Willie Caballero, that's a good name. Yeah, we did have him, and I'm sure we've had some other players as well. But he would be an amazing signing. I'm also going to highlight. I've talked about him so much. Laurent Tolage from Aldershot. My God, what a player! He's who? Kian, you are annoying, mate. You've literally watched him play. You went to Aldershot versus Stockport and you watched him play. Don't give me all of this about who's this, who's that. But yeah, really good player so far. For Aldershot, nearly scored a bicycle kick against Woking, which looked absolutely unreal. Just getting up his stats now for Aldershot. Since July 2023, he's played 30 games for Aldershot and scored 15 goals, which, to be honest, is quite good. He's played for Dundee, Salford, Brighton and Cambridge in the past. Those were on loan and then went to Aldershot. I think he could be a good replacement for Ali at the moment. Hector, what do you think about January? Any positions we should strengthen?
Well, I think there's one thing. I haven't seen many people mention, but I think we should strongly deny anything for Curry, Jack Curry, because there will be offers coming because he has been. Yeah, exactly. He's been brilliant this season.
What a legend!
I think we cannot lose him. There will be big money for him, like upwards of £1 million. But
I believe last January he was rumoured with Bristol City, and that was over £1 million.
Like 5 bids. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy. They really wanted Jack Curry, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Do you remember? Do you remember at Crawley Way? Kean and Hector, you were both there. Jack Curry looked like he's been through a war field after that game. Like, the pitch wasn't really that good, and his shirt, oh my god, it was messed up pretty much after that. But yeah, he's been so important for us, Jack Curry. Literally only started playing professional football last year, scored in his debut against Gillingham, which was really good. And ever since, also scored against Walsall. That was a good one. What was your day like at Walsall when Jack Curry scored, Hector? You were there.
What did Jack Curry score? Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. To be fair, Jack Curry this whole season has been fantastic. He hasn't had enough game, in my opinion. In games where we've looked poor, like Sutton, for example.
Yes,
he was one of the standout players, which were really good. So yeah, he's crucial to keep him because he can score goals as well if he wants to.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can always chip in with some. Is there any other positions which you think we should be strengthening up front or anything?
If we lose Lewis, I think we should get another centre back in because Piercy, well, he's about as old.
You still have Pierce and Callum Barry there. Do you think they're up for it?
Pierce is too old. No. Pierce is too old. If he plays for half a season, he's going to get injured. Callum Barry, I like Callum Barry, but I hate to say it, he's not the best. I don't know what he was doing today. He was playing. He was
acting like I
don't know what he was doing, but I don't feel
about the payments
in my back line.
Yeah, it's all about the payments. Yeah. Right. The next topic I believe we should go on to is the Christmas fixtures. Kian, you've been ranting on about it for the whole time that you really, really want to talk about the Christmas fixtures. So we're going all the way from Crawley to Forest Green. And we had an amazing 2-1 win at Crawley. Then pretty much the opposite type of performance, a 1-0 defeat to Sutton, a 5-3 win against Colchester, which I don't think was that convincing. And then a 1-1 draw. No, Hector, I see your face there, but we conceded 3 very poor goals. To be honest, we did score 5. It was a good performance. I'll get you that. We got the win, which is what we needed after Sutton. And then we had a 1-0 draw to Forest Green. Hector, what were your thoughts on the Christmas fixtures? Obviously, we had a really good win at Crawley, but then we suddenly went to Plough Lane on Boxing Day and lost the bottom of the league. What are your thoughts?
The Crawley said a lot, to be honest. We for a bit of the game, we were down to 10 men. And then from that point, we started struggling. Like, we played really well for those first 60 minutes. And then obviously Joe Lewis got sent off and we lost the ball a bit. We just sort of sat back and let them have it. I think Bass kept us in that. But I think if it was last season Wimbledon, I think we would lose that. Not just draw, I think we would lose it. I think it shows there's been a complete mentality change. Like, we were on the back foot for all that time, and we still managed to, grab those 3 points and take them home. It
was such a good defensive performance, and like when the players came over after the game, it felt just amazing, didn't it? I feel like this year feels so different around the club, like just the vibe around the club. Like, we even talk about the atmosphere and say it's poor, but I think
it's better than last season. It's better than last season.
Yeah, I agree. It's better than last season. Could have some improvements, but it just feels like the togetherness about the team is just really good. Kian, what do you think's caused that togetherness in the team, like towards the staff, the players, and the fans, everything?
I feel like it's really just down to the quality of the squad, because obviously performances have improved, and every win we have, it seems a team, gels even better in the next game. Well, it didn't show through the Christmas fixtures, but it definitely showed before that.
True. Hector, what went wrong at Sutton?
You know what? I don't really know. I think, did we give them the day off on Christmas Day?
Yes.
Yeah, that might be why.
Were the players on the mince pies?
Yeah, definitely. But I think it just looked like Sutton really wanted it more than us. They fought hard for it, and it was a sloppy goal to concede. It's gone over stupidly, and then it's gone to someone unmarked on the back post.
You can not let it bounce in League Two. There you go, because teams will punish you. To to be fair, I thought Sutton were a better team. Sutton seem a bogey team at home. We lost 1-0 to them last year at home as well, which was disappointing. But then, Kian, we bounced back on the 29th of December, a 5-3 victory over Colchester. What were your thoughts on that game? Obviously, scored 5, conceded 3. They got a red card.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well, that was an emphatic win, to say the least. But the thing is, though, we still conceded 3 immensely sloppy goals. Like very sloppy goals. That just wasn't good enough. But overall, obviously, it's 3 points. 3 points is 3 points. So it doesn't really matter at that point.
I agree with you. I think if from Crawley to Forest Green, we picked up 3, 6, 7 out of a possible
12.
So 3, 6. Yeah, 12. So we picked up 7 out of 12 against a pretty good Crawley team. And then after that, we played the bottom 3 teams in the league. Hector, it wasn't really that convincing. Obviously, if you want to be if you want to be a playoff side, you need to beat those teams.
Arguably, we went 1-0 up, and then pretty quickly we went 2-1 down. And again, if that was last season, we would have, we would have a stinker the whole game. I think we would have
lost every game.
Lost 4-1 if that was us going 2-1 down that early. But after conceding that second, it just looked like we switched on, and then we got the equaliser before half time, and then
Joe Lewis became a striker.
Exactly, and then we had it was a very strong second half performance. So yes, arguably, it was convincing because the fact we went down and decided not to just give up after going 2-1 down. It's shown a good change within the club, but I agree.
Yeah,
the goals were quite sloppy and they're very preventable, but it is.
And then we went into the new year with a away trip to the only football team in a village in the 92, Forest Green.
Crazy fact.
Sorry?
Crazy fact.
Crazy fact. It's a good fact. It's a good fact to know. But I bet a lot of people don't know that fact. But Hector, you weren't there, obviously. I really don't blame you, to be honest. I shouldn't have gone. It pissed it down from minute 1 to minute 90. Kian, I thought the pitch was quite bad, especially the second half. The ball seemed to trickle so fast everywhere. 2 goals in the first 12 minutes. They went 1-0 up to Stevens in the 4th minute, and then the 12th minute and Hamadi scored in the 12th minute. What were your thoughts on that game? Obviously, I feel like they're both centre-backs who are massive and we just couldn't get through them. What do you think?
Well, it might be raining for both teams, but we could not handle the conditions of that pitch.
Yeah.
Ali seemed to become invisible after he scored. And we had a select few chances, but then at the end of the game, with Forest Green having that corner that wasn't a corner.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That was the most nervy time I have seen as a football fan. One of the most.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that was the one away day which I just really shouldn't have gone on, and I think it was the quickest I've ever got out of a place, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was really nice. It wasn't raining. It was like blue skies. It was like there was a really nice backdrop, a nice scene to the town. And then we got to the grounds. We had to go through mud on the way home. My white, beautiful Air Forces went into mud. It was pretty horrible. But I think we should go on to the last 2 topics of today. Obviously, we have Oxford at home in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, and then Wrexham. We'll start with Oxford. Hector, score predictions and scorers for Oxford at home.
It all depends if Oxford release a strong squad, because obviously they're doing quite well in League One, aren't they?
They are 5th place. They actually lost 6-2 to Coventry today in the FA Cup.
Championship side.
Championship side. I mean that kind of shows. Yeah.
I would say I would hope for us to win 2-1 with. I'll say Kai Jennings is going to score. I think he's.
I like that. I think he may start because he was on the bench today. I kind of wanted him to come on. I think that would have been really good. He's one of the players which I think he'll be the next Jack Curry, Ayub Assal, Jack Rodoni. He'll be the next one. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Kai Jennings should definitely start.
Second scorer being Davison. Even though I said I don't really want many first team players to start, I think because of how crap Davison played today, I think we should start him against Oxford.
Yeah. Kian, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, 3-2 win. 3-2 win. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go with Davison for 2, depending on the lineup, obviously. Yeah. And Ryan Johnson from a corner. But then Brannigan will score the other 2 Oxford goals.
You got some good ball knowledge of the Oxford players there, Kian. I didn't even know Brannigan played for Oxford, mate.
He's their only decent player.
No, you're an Oxford fan in disguise,
I know. Yeah, I know.
And then the next game after that, to close off the week, we have a very tough test to North Wales. Hector, it's going to be a different type of game than what we expect on Tuesday, 100%. What do you think will happen? Score predictions and scorers, if we can even score against Wrexham.
It's going to be really tough. But as shown before earlier in the season, Wrexham do concede a lot of goals, so that they can have a leaky back line. So I would be happy to get a point. It would be ambitious to say we would get all 3, but I'll be happy with 1 point. So I think I'll go with a 1-1, but us to score first. Weird will be. I think Tilly. I think Tilly's going to bag.
He scored last time, a very good penalty into the top corner. So that would be good. I'm going to go over 1-1 draw as well. I think I'd take that, to be honest. I don't see us winning at Wrexham. I hope I say that and then we go and win. So yeah, I'm not going to say we win because we'll go and lose, to be honest. So, Kian, what do you think?
Well, my heart says 2-1 to the Dons. But my
heart says 10-0, mate.
Yeah, my ball knowledge says 3-1 Wrexham. Sadly, I don't think we're getting anything out of the game. Our recent
ball knowledge
that shows.
Poor
Paul Mullin hat trick and Alex Bass to score.
Okay, fair enough.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't really expect that, Kian. You're putting your finger to the side of your head, just like Rashford. Okay, interesting. To be fair, I think Wrexham can win easily 3-1. I think if we had the squad, which we want, like obviously Ali, Bugiel, if we had them in, then I think we can easily go and, well, maybe not easily.
A couple of good signings before.
Yeah, 100%.
If we sign a striker, maybe a centre back if Lewis goes, I think we would have a better chance than we do without Ali and Omar. Definitely.
I agree with you. Well, Hector, Kian, thank you. This is the first podcast of the Plough Lane podcast. Hopefully, many more to come. The next podcast, hopefully, will be out a week after this one comes out on Monday, which we will discuss Oxford, Wrexham, any transfer news that comes in. Hopefully, we sign some players. If we don't, I'll be totally disappointed. Hector, Kian, any closing thoughts before we end this?
No,
just come on, you Dons.
You Dons.
Thank you for listening, everyone.